Right, welcome. So, I've done a few videos on this now. We had a video saying that Jeffrey Dean Morgan was going to play Thomas Wayne in the Flashpoint movie. We then had new news that Michael Keaton was being eyed for the role of Bruce Wayne in Flashpoint movie. And that in fact, Thomas Wayne was done and we weren't ever going to see that now. Now, we get this. So there's a rumour that Michael Keaton is actually in talks, or his talks actually involve a lot more than one DC movie, and one of them is in fact Batman Beyond, which I love. Like, I really love that. Terry McGinnis, yeah, like weird, like implied to be like a Bruce Wayne clone. Love it. Like I'm down for that. That'd be super cool, super good use of Michael Keaton. Now on face value, when we just heard that initial news of Michael Keaton in the role. Because I'd heard Jeffrey Dean Morgan for Thomas Wayne, I was like, I don't really like it, to be honest. I don't hate it, but I don't really love it. You know, I'm not enamoured with it. I'd prefer to see someone else take up the mantle, something different, something new. Despite how good it would be to see Michael Keaton back, of course it would be. But give me something new, and obviously, you know, Jeffrey Dean Morgan as a Batman type, like a brutal one, would be really cool, I think. I didn't hate it, but now we're hearing this particular news. I like it a lot more. A lot more. So we're going to dive into this today. Just real quick before I do, we're still open for Blackfields. It's my film. The future of filmmaking is crowdfunded, I believe. It's a Norse-inspired fantasy horror concept. Think The Thing, cross with Hellraiser, cross with Conan, very toxically masculine. You'll love it. As I'm crowdfunding for it, so check out the link down below in the description box. There's also a merch store where you can buy a poster just like that. But let's dive into it, right? This article is linked down below. So look, Michael Keaton, as strange as it sounds, is reportedly having discussions with Warner Brothers about returning to Batman. Now that may not be the end of the story though, because we get a new scoop from Fly in the Ointment, Mickey Sutton. His scoops are few and far between in terms of what comes to reality and things like that. But when we're looking at it, and it is a rumour, and I would have labelled this video as rumour as well, it's a good one, and it's one which I would make like better use of him, much better use of him, and also it makes sense because you look at it and you go, right, well, when you get like a high-profile actor on board, generally speaking, less high-profile actors want to sign on to multiple movies, right? Less of them do, but Michael Keaton has already done that. He's already signed on to multiple movies within the Marvel universe. He's in multiple movies anyway. So I would imagine he could do this. Why wouldn't he? Unless there's a non-compete contract with Marvel, but that's doubtful because they're somewhat illegal anyway. I quite like this news. I think it makes sense. Now, obviously, the suggestion is that more roles could be on the table, including one Keaton was rumoured for not too long ago, and many want to see him in. Old Bruce Wayne in Batman Beyond. I love Batman Beyond. I really love it. I think it was the inevitable conclusion and evolution of Batman the Animated Series. Where could you possibly go? Where could you go with it? Batman Beyond. I love it. I really like Batman Beyond. And I love Batman the Animated Series as well. But Batman Beyond is badass. And to see a live action one, yes, please, matey. Absolutely. Now, certain scoop begins by explaining interest in Batman Beyond was insufficient, but got the ball rolling. Really? I think you say that to anyone who is familiar with it, and they'll go, yeah. Surely. Like, who wouldn't want to see that? Who's ever familiar with Batman Beyond? Most people would. They'd be like, yeah, I'm all game for that, of course. Absolutely am. The DD twins, was it? Do you remember them? The Harley Quinn twins? It turns out it was like Harley Quinn was their like great aunt or something like that. It was crazy. Or great grandma. Love it. So good. Anyway, so he said, when the Hollywood trades revealed that Michael Keaton was in talks to reprise his role as Bruce Wayne in the upcoming Flash theatrical film, and possibly other roles in the DCEU, it wasn't the first time that he has been discussed to return. A live-action Batman Beyond was considered before, but Warner Brothers felt that there wasn't sufficient interest for them to green-light it. He continues and says AT&T changed their tune in the name of 90s nostalgia. Dark Knight properties and content for HBO Max. That has changed with AT&T, who sees the IP as ripe for 90s nostalgia, which is about to hit full bloom in the near future. Not only that, but it's yet another way of expanding their hugely successful Dark Knight properties, especially on content-hungry HBO Max. Now, I think the only thing which, I guess, throws a stick in the works, right, is we've got Zack Snyder's Justice League, Ben Affleck coming back, we've got Robert Pattinson's Batman, and then you've still got this Flashpoint movie, which will apparently have a Batman in it. Now, it made sense to have Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Thomas Wayne. I think that makes sense. Because we've already seen him. He's part of the DCEU, isn't he, right? So that makes sense to me. To now then throw Michael Keaton in there as an older Batman, well, it makes sense if they're doing a multiverse. But then just to have a Batman Beyond in the multiverse in the future is, I don't know. I mean, I don't personally think it's going to be too confusing, but you have to cater to the lowest common denominator, and I think a lot of people will find that very confusing, don't you? Again, remember, a lot of people are dumb, so I don't know. I think that's the only thing that makes me think it might be complete nonsense. And I'd love it. I love the idea. Now, certain sources tell him, yes, a live-action Batman Beyond is being talked about again, and this time for HBO Max, although no development has begun. Now, if it's a series, does he have time to do it? Would he sign on to doing a series? He'd have to be in most episodes. He'd have to film quite a lot, but it'd be probably about the same length of time as a movie, potentially, if they get it done and film it all. I could see it, maybe. Now they add, if they could net Keaton for it, the possibility of this materialising greatly increases. The Flash is in a similar situation, because Keaton's drawing power is why he's being considered to fill the role of Flashpoint's Batman. That's the thing, people want to see Michael Keaton as Batman. And I realised that when I released that video, I was like, Jesus Christ, people really want to see Michael Keaton as Batman again. Even over Jeffrey Dean Morgan, Thomas Wayne, which I clearly got that wrong. But yeah, I can see that, because no one wants to see Ezra Miller. No one cares about Ezra Miller. But you get Michael Keaton's Batman in there, that's the selling point. That's the hook for the trailer. That's the reason people go. Michael Keaton, Ezra Miller. Michael Keaton, Ezra Miller. Michael Keaton. You're going to go because of Michael Keaton being Batman, not because of Ezra Miller. You couldn't care less about Ezra Miller. Now, the scoop closes talking up as AT&T's excitement over pushing HBO Max more and pondering the level of enthusiasm on Keaton's part. AT&T is quite excited about the commercial and social media buzz Keaton in Batman Beyond could generate for HBO Max. Only time will tell if Keaton is similarly thrilled with the idea. Midnight's Edge, friends of the channel, covered the scoop on YouTube and went step by step through all the details we know so far. And they're good. They are very, very good. Now, look, trades confirmed Keaton is up for a role similar to Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury, and he could also appear in the Supergirl movie should it re-enter development. It makes sense. I don't hate it, but I just think, it's throwing it out, right? You've got Ben Affleck. We can say, and again, something similar was pushed for Henry Cavill's Return to Superman. We don't know how Keaton being in such a position affects that. Yeah, exactly. We can say with reasonable certainty the Birdman star playing the Cape Crusader at his age shouldn't affect Robert Pattinson's The Batman trilogy or Ben Affleck's script being adapted for HBO Max if that happens. And the same goes for Zack Snyder's Justice League. No, they're not going to impact one another, but it's just it's just going to confuse people. And again, I know most people watching this, I get it. It's not for you though, is it? It's not you that's going to be confused. It's everyone else, and that's what you need to watch out for, sadly. So I hand it on over to you guys. What do you think about this? Good, bad? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you're new here, please do hit subscribe. Please do give this video a like, and please do share it. Really means the world to me. Would really help support the channel at this very weird time. Like I said, anything over 3 videos a day doesn't actually get sent out, doesn't notify anyone, which is super frustrating. So would really appreciate that. But anyway, and as always, guys, thank you so much. Have a Mr. H. Take care.